2 on 2. Ready?
What is good?
What's good, peoples? You know what it is. You know what time it is. It's Sunday. Time for the football frame of mind, man. Hope you guys had a good Christmas, man. Handled all your business. Got to spend time with the peoples and go from there, man. New Year is upon us, man. So we got a little surprise for y'all today. We'll see if it works. But new year comes new things that we are trying on the show. But before we get started, man, how you doing?
Man, it's good, man. We almost to the last week of the. Okay, I don't know what that was. It's almost to the last week of the year, and you guys are killing it. So shout out to y'all. Applause to y'all. We are killing it this month, thanks to you guys, man. The views are through the roof. So we really want to just continue to end the rest of 2024 with a bang and just continue to carry it over into 2025. But we couldn't be here without you guys. So shout out to y'all. If you guys do like this kind of content, make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe if you're not already. Hit the bell notification so you never miss any of our awesome daily content, as well as check us out on all of major audio platforms. We do streaming on Twitch, X, and Facebook as well. Check us out there. And check out the Villain Sports Media Network, man. A bunch of awesome other content creators such as College Sports Villains, No Mercy Sports. We have a wrestling show, Legends of the Squared Circle, and plenty of other really cool guys. If you want to check them out, check them out. You will not be disappointed.
Not at all, man. So, excuse me. So obviously, Villain Sports Media Network. That's what we this show is brought to you by. Check us out over there. We got a lot of good stuff for y'all, man. So, but got a lot to talk about, man. Today's show, we got some NFL, college football stuff. You know the drill. It's fun. It's all about the game that we love, football, man. So, without further ado, let's get started, man. All right. So, let's start off with some college football, like we always do. Let's start off with I think I messed this up. Hold up. I think I did. I did. Never mind. Let's start off with some NFL draft talk, man. Let's do that first. Let's start off with some NFL draft talk, man. And then we'll get into some college football, man. But as you see on the screen, coming into this day, the Giants were number one. But they beat the Colts today, so they won't be number one. So that means the New England Patriots will probably have the number one overall pick, which is something they don't do very often. So we'll see. But the Giants, obviously losers of 10 straight, didn't want to go 11. And they probably should have, you know. But there's a rumor going around that they don't like to draft black quarterbacks, so they probably didn't want to go that high anyway.
Oops.
So we shall see. But what do you think about the draft coming into this week?
Well, I mean, looking at it now, I think it's pretty consensus where we feel like the first 3 picks are going to go. It just really depends on who's going to be in what order. If I see New England at 1, I feel like New England being in the top 3, I feel like they're going to take Travis Hunter. I just think he's the best player available. He's a generational talent. Obviously, New England doesn't need a quarterback here. If you draft him, more than likely you're going to probably play him at corner, which would be really good to be able to put him on the opposite side of Christian Gonzalez, which is a really good cornerback they drafted last year. Then I look at the Giants in Tennessee. If you just flip New England to 1, I'm looking at the Giants at 2. I know that it's kind of a consensus that's going around that they don't want to draft African-American quarterbacks, but I feel like they're going to break that trend there. I do feel like if the Giants get the second pick, I feel like they're going to probably take Shedeur. I just feel like Ready, he's probably going to be the first quarterback off the board. But I wouldn't be surprised if you see some trading going around here, especially if New England gets 1. I could see New England trading back to, like, let's say the 3rd pick. They get the 3rd pick, and they'll probably get future first-round picks, if not, I think, further compensation. If they trade back with Tennessee, for instance, I want to say Tennessee has 2 first-round picks this year, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have 2. So, I mean, I could see them doing that because if I look at the Giants, I look at Tennessee, Cleveland, anyone like that, I could see them going quarterback. New England doesn't need a quarterback. So, New England, realistically, if they get first pick, they could trade back, still take Travis Hunter, and get a lot more compensation back for it.
I can see that. I think what Cleveland would do in the top 3 is interesting. I'm not sure if they want to go. I'm not sure if they want to go quarterback since they restructured Deshaun Watson's contract and it's been kind of a dud. Or do they want to just kind of patch up some holes as far as what they need? Take the best player available, go offensive line because defensively they're pretty good. So we'll see. I don't know. They got some talent on the Browns, man, but it's just a quarterback position, in my opinion. That seems to be the issue. So you got Chubb, you got a lot of good players, but it's really important that they figure out what they want to do. But the next team. Go ahead.
Oh, you can finish. I was just gonna say I want to see what the Raiders are gonna do.
Well, I mean the Raiders. I think they won today too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
Yeah, so they would be even further down the pecking order, as far as in the top 10. So, but I don't know. I think they won simply for morale purposes because they don't want to lose. But I would have just kept losing because it doesn't make sense. Like you already know you need a quarterback, and it's teams ahead of you now that need quarterbacks as well. So it seemed like too much of a risk to be winning those games, in my opinion, because it's like that's the only thing the Raiders need right now. Like, if you were gonna go defense, cool, I understood that, but you need a quarterback first. That's the big issue, So that surprised me, but nonetheless, man, that's pretty much the NFL draft order. So, like I said, let's get into the big board, though.
That's fancy. I like the little animation you got going on right now.
Yeah, so man, we bring in something new into the new year, man. So we go to the big board right now. Obviously, you mentioned Travis Hunter's number 1. I think the number one player aside from him should be Abdul Carter. Like, I think he should be the number one defensive player in my opinion. Just because what you can do with him. You know, he can be an edge rusher. He can play middle linebacker for you. He can play defensive end. He can be a rover. You know, you put him anywhere, a chess piece. You know, like they have to find out where he is on the field. So that's the guy I'm looking forward to seeing because he might be the best player out of everybody in the draft because of his skill set. So that's where I think. So what do you think about this big board?
No, I think Abdul Carter is a really good player. Will Johnson out of Michigan is really good too. Anybody who's going to be able to get him, he's going to be a real steal for them. So watch out for him. I see Kelvin Banks down there at 10. He's a really good tackle. A lot of teams are in need of tackle. I think he'd be a really good addition there. And I mean, you're looking at the quarterbacks. I think we've touched a lot on quarterbacks, but I feel like whoever gets McMillan from Arizona, he's going to be a real plug and play. I think he'd be a really good addition to whoever he goes to.
Yeah, I like him. He's a big body receiver. I like him a lot. I just worry about the competition he faced a little bit. I think, and how he kind of like he started off the season with like a 300-yard game, and kind of just disappeared after that. You know, so that's my worry. Like, is he a flash in the pan, or is he really that deal? You know, so somebody's gonna take the cheese, and then we'll see. I don't know.
I like his size though. He's not too big. Like he's got great height, and his weight I feel like is proportionate well for his height. I think he could be a really big help to somebody.
I think if he gets bigger, he's gonna be like a David Boston type of receiver.
If he puts a little weight on.
Yeah, if he puts some weight on, he's gonna be nice because he's not slow either. So I think that's a really, really big thing. So that's the big board, man. But let's get into some college football, man. We got some college football playoff games coming up, man. We had our bowl week without college football playoff stuff, so it's pretty cool, you know, to see matchups without that. But this is the matchup. We kind of discussed it last week, but it should be really fun to see what happens. But nothing really to talk about there for real. Carson Beck obviously declared for the draft, so he's not playing against Georgia.
I don't think that was a wise decision on his part. I'm just saying.
I think I actually disagree. I think if he came back, it was just going to be a lot harder for him to shake off all of the rust.
I just don't know if he's that. I just don't know if he's that pro ready. I just don't know if I'm sold on him yet. Maybe I need to see some work at the combine, and maybe I'll kind of soften my stance on. I don't think he's bad. I just don't know if I'm really sold on him going high. Like he's not going to be a first round pick. I don't think so.
I think he is. I think if you're the Raiders and you fall out of the Shedeur Cam Ward sweepstakes, you're gonna have to pick a quarterback, or your fan base is gonna be really upset with you.
Yeah, but it all depends on what they do in free agency too. I mean, they could try to make a move for a veteran quarterback for the time being.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You could have Sam Darnold go there too.
Ooh.
So yeah,
get another good receiver in there. That would be nice.
Yeah. So if you lock up your quarterback for now in free agency, then cool. Whatever, you know. But that's a risk. Like anything, right? But I would definitely take Sam Darnold over Carson Beck, right?
Yeah,
if that was the case.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I don't know. But nonetheless, that's the college football playoff, man. So let's get into some action. So we got Miami taking a loss to Iowa State. I think we both probably picked this game a little wrong, because the Cyclones decided to score some points. Man, they didn't do that in the championship game. That's for sure. But they win a shootout against Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes, man. So all signs point to Cam Ward being his last game in college football, and he's one of the most prolific passers in the game in terms of touchdowns, passes for. So, what do you think? What do you think? Was this a good showing for Cam Ward, or does Iowa State have a chance in the Big 12 next year?
So Cam Ward, a lot of people are giving him crap, like he chose to sit out, but it was confirmed. Like there was already a game plan going into that game that he was going to sit out, like the second half or whatever the case may be. So if anybody's still like going off on that tangent, they did confirm that that is the case. I don't think he had a bad game, efficient game, a little better than 50% passing, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. I think he's probably he's damn near up there as one of the more prolific passers in this draft. I think he's proven his body of work this year that he can play the next level. He's good with his legs. His passing's gotten a lot better. You've seen the progression over the last 3 years or so. I think Cam Ward is going to be that guy at the next level. Just depends where he goes, depends on the situation. I'm not sold on Iowa State in the Big 12 next year. It's the same thing you've been saying with the coach. It's like, dude, like you need to move on, or you need to make that next step, because I just don't see it, man. I've seen some teams this year that looked pretty good in the Big 12. BYU looked pretty good in the Big 12. I mean, isn't Jalen Daniels coming back again for Kansas? Kansas turned it back up at the end of the year last year. I'm pretty sure he said he was coming back. Pretty sure Utah will be better next year. We don't have any idea what Colorado's going to be like. They're losing a lot of premier talent. So it probably will be a down year for them. We expect Oklahoma State to have a bounce back year next year, although they're losing Ollie Gordon to the NFL draft. I think they can still have a shot, but I don't think it's a shoe-in by anything of the imagination. I don't necessarily think they're going to win it, but I think they'll still be like in the hunt to win it.
All right, now I can't disagree with that. I think this was more telling on what Miami needs to do in the offseason. Like defense is an issue. Like you can score 41 points, man, but if you give up 42, you lose. So that's a problem, man. And then you got quarterbacks like Cade Klubnik coming back next year. You got a whole host of guys, coming back in the ACC. I want to say Eli Holstein's probably coming back for Pitt. So, that's going to be a problem. So I think Kyle McCord is leaving. He should leave because he showed he could play. So, but nonetheless, you still have a lot of quarterbacks coming back in the ACC. So you're going to have to fix that defense, So, but speaking of Kyle McCord, he finishes his college career in style, man, of 5 touchdown performance against the Washington State Cougars, man. Representatives of the Pac-12, man. Believe that, right?
The Pac-2.
They still alive, still kicking, man. But Kyle McCord definitely snuck back into the second round conversation with this performance. He's been doing it all season. I mean, he's had a couple duds where he's had like multiple interceptions, man, but the yards have been there, right? Mm-hmm. So he's had way more yards than everybody else. Like he's 300 plus almost every game he's played in this season. So don't be surprised if he sneaks into that 3rd, 4th quarterback taken in the draft next year, because somebody's going to fall in love with that arm talent, right? The question is, did he play enough tough competition? That's the thing. People are going to be like, oh, well, he played in Syracuse, right? But he had some big games, and Syracuse has won, I think this was 10 wins for them this season. So, yeah, they won that thing, man. But shout out Fran Brown. We were shocked when he got the job, but he's done a really good job. So, what you think?
So, both anticipated them to win this game. Bro, I wish this thing would get out of here. Both anticipate them to win this game. I'm surprised Washington State still put up that much points with their star quarterback leaving for the transfer portal into transferring to Oklahoma. Level of competition is one thing, and it does weigh into my comment on this. But either way, dude, he showed that he can still play. Like everybody ragged on him last year and blamed him for them not making it, but he was able to come out this year into a completely different situation, fresh start, and he balled out 85% of the year. Played really well. Didn't play a whole lot of turnover football besides like that one really bad game. The yards were always there. And dude, Syracuse getting 10 wins in the ACC is impressive. I know the ACC isn't the Big Ten of the SEC, but them getting 10 wins in that conference is really impressive to me. And he was one of the main focal points for it. I see him more as a second or third round guy. I don't necessarily see him sneaking into the first round, but like we've seen before, when teams are quarterback needy, sometimes they're willing to take a chance and reach for a quarterback if they feel like they get more potential or they can do something special with him. But nonetheless, good year for him and really good year for Syracuse.
I agree, man. 10 wins for Syracuse is always a good year for them, man. So, like I said, shout out to Fran Brown, man. He's going to be on a list of candidates to get another job. Just saying that. I think this year, if he does this again next year, he's going to be hot commodity.
For sure.
We're talking Rhett Latchley hot. That's how hot. Yeah. So we'll see. We shall see. But speaking of ACC opponents, man, what about this game, man? Toledo said, "Look, hold my beer. Bowl season is alive."
Watch this.
6 overtimes against the Pitt Panthers. Great game. I think we both wish that the overtime rules would change back to normal. But nonetheless, man, hey, if you can't get a 2-point conversion, it's over. And Pitt couldn't do that. And Toledo gets the win here, representing the MAC.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy to see. It's crazy to see how Pitt has collapsed. They've had some really unfortunate games where I feel like they should have won. But at one point, Pittsburgh was in contention to win the ACC or to be in the ACC title game. And to see them only be a game over 500 at the end of the year, that really sucks. I mean, Eli Holstein had a really good year for them. I'm hoping they can kind of turn things around and actually finish the season strong next year in an ACC conference that I feel like could be wide open.
All right, now I can see that. Low guy says Ohio State beating we'll get
not
into that. We'll get into that.
Not holding to the 27. That's one thing.
Yeah, we'll get into that, but I don't think 27 is gonna be there. I think this is gonna be, if this is not a shootout, I'll be surprised. That means somebody messing up. But 34-27, that's I don't think so. I think it'll be way more high scoring than that.
They're not holding it that low.
No, I don't think so, man. But Pitt gets the win. Shout out to Vander Ross, man. 12 catches for $195. Like, talk about balling.
Talk about cooking.
That's pretty good. Yeah. But UConn. Shout out to UConn getting the win here. 9-win season. Their first bowl win since 2010. So they making some waves. Jim Mora, Jr., by the way, is the head coach of the Huskies. So like I said, I appreciate everything he's doing for that program because he took that job really out of nowhere. Nobody in their right mind thought he was gonna take that job, man. I think he signed like a 1-year deal or something like that, and then poof, now they bowl eligible like 2 years in a row. Now I do think that, I don't know if they're in the American or the Independent.
They're independent.
So the competition can be looked at as but they still won 9 games this season. So that's still a win, man. So UNC, I don't know. I think Bill Belichick was coaching this game. I think so.
Mm-mm. It was an interim coach.
It was the interim coach? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you got to think at this point, I mean, he doesn't really need to have his stamp on his name on this game. I mean, it's at the end of the season anyway, so.
Yeah, but you kind of put the clamps on them. They couldn't do nothing. Like your quarterback didn't have 100 yards in today's game. That's horrible.
It is.
Horrible.
You shut down the
So
passing game and you're forcing them to make plays.
yeah, and they couldn't do nothing in the run game either. Well, I mean, I guess if they kept feeding dude, then maybe they would have won. But that didn't even seem like that was an issue. So, but nonetheless, we move on here, man. So our resident Vandy fan, Chris, man, should be very happy.
Oh,
But I would not
oh,
be happy. I would
Cam.
not be happy. Got the wrong thing. My bad. My bad. Got the wrong thing. My bad. My bad. Hold up.
I was trying to catch you.
We can fix that on the fly. Hold up. Let me stop sharing that. Hold up. Y'all can look at us real quick. Let me fix that. I got it right now. I got
That's
it right
crazy.
now. Let me fix
Get
that.
out of my room, dog.
Well, somebody in your room?
No, I got a damn fly. It's bugging me.
Oh man, shoot, I'll be having that all the time. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, what is going on here?
Why is you here?
Yeah, it'd be like ultra aggressive too, like just flying around. Like, yo,
running into stuff.
Problems.
You don't need them problems.
Yeah, like yo, chill, man. You was just in the windowsill. Like, go back over there.
Why you want to come over here, bro? Like, mind your own business.
Like, yeah, that's not about you. All right. All right. 1 second. We gotta figure it out right now. Right now. All right, show this screen real quick.
Hey, you want to see this funny ACC logo?
What? Oh yeah. They ass. All right, now we got it fixed. All right, there we go. All right, so our resident Vandy fan Chris should be happy, but he also should be very terrified because performances like this make Diego Pavia one of the most sought after people in the transfer portal if he chose to enter. I would personally think about it because, dude, man, you're not going to have this success next season. I don't care how good you are or whatever. It's teams gunning for y'all. Y'all snuck up on a lot of teams. And I would cash in, man. I mean, I don't know what Vandy would offer him in terms of NIL, but I do know his skill set would be very good in a different place. You know, I think there are a bunch of teams that could use him. I mean, shoot, he could go to Ohio State and be real good. You know, he could go to West Virginia. No, I don't think about Alabama. I don't think so. No, I think they want more of a traditional passer.
Hey, I got one. Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That would be nasty. Him and Lane Kiffin would be nasty.
I agree. So so it's a bunch of programs he could go to, man. I just think whoever's telling him that staying there is a good thing, I don't think so. I just don't agree. It don't make no business sense to me. But nonetheless, they take care of Georgia Tech, man, in a surprisingly good game, man. Haynes King went off. Diego Pavia, as we mentioned, led the team in passing and rushing. So he went off. So we'll see, man. What's up, Spencer?
What's up, Spencer?
So we'll see, man. But good game for Vandy, man. Really shout out to them. Haynes King is like really good though. Like he's good.
He's nice.
So, but let's get into some game action, man. So Alabama's playing in whatever bowl game this is. I think they should win. If they were starting, if Michigan was starting their freshman quarterback, right? If he could play in a bowl game, I think he's at I think he's just there for the bowl practices. So
Could you
shout out to Spencer's friend Darius.
Your friend Darius.
Yeah.
Your friend.
So yeah, shout out to the Darius.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are, man. Hope you're doing good, man. Shout out to Darius. But Michigan is they limping into this game. I don't think Will Johnson's playing or Graham is playing. They shouldn't be. This game is booty. They shouldn't be playing this. They've done everything they needed to do to get drafted in the top 10. So hey, this game's not going to help or hurt their draft stock at all. So if you thought they were a top 10 pick before this game, they probably are. If you didn't think they were, then you probably weren't in position to draft them anyway. So, nonetheless, I got Alabama winning this. This probably gonna get ugly. What you think?
I wouldn't completely count them out because I mean everybody thought Ohio State was gonna freaking boat race them, and Ohio State lost. I think they are dealing with injuries, and if those two guys aren't playing, it's gonna make a major difference. I think Alabama wins. 2-touchdown victory.
Well, hopefully we do, because this would be embarrassing. Just like this season has been all year long. Embarrassing. But all right, y'all have a tougher situation going on because Baylor just decided they want to come back and play some football. I think Dave Aranda, y'all old defensive coordinator, is probably gonna be turned up for this game, man. So y'all playing in the Texas Bowl. What you thinking about this matchup?
I think it's a cool matchup. I think LSU's got better talent, and I think they got something to prove, especially after like an underwhelming season. You lost a couple guys in the portal, but not anybody who were like major difference makers besides like CJ Daniels. I think Baylor will give LSU a good game, but I think this is a game for a guy in Garrett Nussmeier where he really needs to prove something, especially going into next year when you had a transfer quarterback come in. You have another guy on the roster who's going to want to try to compete for that top spot. I really think he's going to have to come out and really play turnover-free ball. And he's going to have to ball out, man, because you struggle in this game and you struggle to win this game or you even lose this game, there's going to be chatter. And it's going to be an open quarterback competition come spring ball. I've got LSU, but I've got them by 7 to 10 points.
Okay. I think y'all win. I just think y'all depth wins this game. I don't think Baylor is in a position to beat y'all. I think they keep it interesting early. But I just think y'all got too many horses for them to withstand what they're gonna do. Now I will say Baylor has an opportunity if they can run with the quarterback. Like if their quarterback runs work early, they have a shot. But
yeah,
I still don't think so. But that'll make it interesting.
I think athletes wise and depth wise, they just don't match up the greatest.
Yeah, but this is gonna be fun though. This is gonna be a fun game because there's a lot of storyline in it. All right, so not the best matchup to talk about, but it happens.
Not the Mayo Bowl.
I like it because they dump mayo on the coaches. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a weird tradition. I don't know. I like it, man. Plus, I like goddamn PJ Fleck. I like him. He's a really good coach. I liked him at goddamn, where was he at before this? Was it Eastern Michigan? No, not Eastern Michigan. Was it Western Michigan? I forgot where he was, but I loved his energy because he rode a boat. So I like it. They 7-5. I want to see them go 8-5 and really get this win. Okay, we got some kind of what's up? What's up, Bubba Bryant?
What?
Oh
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
oh
Check
yeah,
you out,
oh
man.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
Go Gophers, man.
Minnesota fan in the house.
That's right. That's what I thought. Western Michigan. That's what I was thinking. Thank you, Bubba. I was thinking that too. So I've been a fan of PJ Fleck for a long time. So I really like his energy. So if he gets the mayo dumped on him, he's probably gonna make it legendary. So I want to see them. I want to see them. Plus the Hokies. I don't like them too much. I don't like them. I mean, I like Michael Vick, but that's about it.
I like what they've done, man. Give me Minnesota, man. Give me the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough for them to make any headway because the Big Ten has obviously got a lot better. But PJ Fleck gonna be there. I think if he can continue to win, he might be an all a lifer for the Gophers. Like he might not go nowhere. He might be there for like 10 years, 15. That would be awesome, man. You know. So, like I said, we'll see. But that's the matchup I wanted to see, man, because I like that thing. But this one is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. Bubba said, longest active bowl streak. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Dang,
Okay. Okay.
check them
So
out.
Minnesota been doing their thing, huh? Okay. I didn't know that. But they also have the only three-peat, I think, in modern history. I think so. I think they got the last three-peat in college football history, which
That
was
was a little
like,
while ago.
yeah, I think it was 35, 6, and 7. Something like that. It was in the 30s though. Something like that. But they won like 3 in a row. And that was fire. I was like, yo, how you win 3 in a row? And it's like, all right, I get it. Yale, Princeton, and all of them won a lot. But like outside of that, that's pretty cool. So 7 in a row. He said they won 7 in a row. So that's good, man. I wish Bama was 7 in a row. Yep. Let's see. Only 3 feet.
Check you out. I see you.
Yeah,
Check you out,
35, 36, and 37. Yep, I knew it. In the modern era, they're the only 3-peat. Yep. Because Bama was going for it in a like what 20 was that 2011 and 12. And we was going for it in 13, and then the kick 6 happened, and that's what happened. Hey, I know you was happy about that because we would have beat Florida. We would have beat Florida State that year. We was balling, dog. We was balling.
Ooh, hey, all I can say is I remember, and you already told the story about you watching all that, but I'm just watching. I'm like, okay, whatever. They're gonna kick it up. He catches. I'm like, man, this ain't going nowhere, bro. As soon as homeboy hit the sideline, I'm like, no freaking way. Dude gonna hit it Madden 04 style, hit the sideline. The 30, the 40, the 50, and I'm like, dude, no freaking way. Like, they just sucked the air completely out of the building. Like, it was so crazy.
Mind you, since it happened about the end of depression. Yeah. Hey,
shout out
that
to
was
you,
a
man.
while ago, Bubba. That was a while ago, man. Give us a like on the YouTube. I mean on the Facebook, man. We appreciate that, man. Give us a
Shout
like,
out to you, man. Golden Gopher family. You don't see that too much.
Yeah,
awesome.
we don't have many Minnesota fans come over here, so we
come on
appreciate
anytime.
that. So, but we got South Carolina going against the Illini of Illinois. Big Ten SEC matchup, man. I like what South Carolina's done, but I will never turn my back on Brett Bielema because I'm a Brett Bielema guy. All right, so I'm going with the Illini.
Oh no, you did it! Oh, you better be glad
did.
he ain't on. Be glad he ain't on yet because we're gonna have to touch on that when
he
come back.
gonna say the Indiana's frauds and whatever, man. I don't care. I'm going with the Illini, man. So I'm going Illini. Bubba said, "Thank you, man." Oh yeah, Yeah,
Hey man, I get it. I used to work on
yeah,
USPS vehicles, and y'all always be
yeah,
running, so I get it.
yeah. Christmas, they get all them Christmas presents out. Shit.
And then y'all be having to come in and out and drive all these late routes. Like I get it. Shout out to
Yeah,
y'all, man. Y'all the real MVPs for that.
yeah. Most definitely, man. So,
But in this game though, I like what Illinois has done. Illinois has played really well, like throughout the season. I'm really impressed. But I'm sorry, bro. I'm a believer in Lenore Sellers, and I love what South Carolina's defense is doing. I think Illinois is good, but I don't think they're going to have an answer for Sellers on offense and this suffocating defense that South Carolina's got, man. Give me the Cox. Give me Gamecocks.
no Cox.
Oh, man.
You're gonna get us banned, bro. All
Just like
right,
Andrew.
so yeah, exactly like Andrew. So all right, so we got the college football playoff matchups this week. I try to set up the games and stuff for the week after. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what Bubba got. We'll see Bubba got.
Thank you again. It's a scary matchup.
Yeah,
Both teams
man.
pitching
I can
well.
see some trickery. I can see some
It, it,
trickery. I can
it'll
see
be a
some
good game.
trickery, man. But it's two teams that are very good, man. So I like that matchup a lot. Man. So, but we got the college football playoff, man. I think this is a matchup everybody want to see. Does Boise State belong, and can Ashton Jeanty have a should have been Heisman moment again and really cause some havoc in this playoff bracket, man? Because if they beat Penn State, they got a chance to get to the Final Four, and it's real easy. So it'd be fun. What do you think? I got Penn State winning because I think they got more horses, but I really want to see Jeanty go for like 300 on their defense.
So this is my thing. I'm a believer. I love what Penn State does. I think they're probably one of the most physical teams in the country, if not the most physical team, especially on defense. I like what Penn State's been doing as of late, especially Drew Allar's been playing really well. I think the last game he played no turnovers, so he did really good. I've got Penn State winning this game. I just think they have too much depth. I think they're very physical. But
Yeah.
Ashton Jeanty breaks the all-time rushing record this game. Takes it from Barry Sanders. Great season, nonetheless. I think Boise State keeps it interesting for a little while, maybe a half or so, but I think Penn State just has too much physicality. I've gotten the Nittany Lions in this one.
Yeah, me too, man. But I think we both rooting for Jeanty to break that record because I didn't think it'd be broken the way college football is.
I mean, the last time was Melvin Gordon, so
yeah, he was close. Yeah, he was close to it. Yeah, he had a good season too. Honestly, he had a real good season. I thought he should have got some Heisman consideration, but they don't give it to the running teams that often. And the Badgers run the ball a lot, a whole lot. So the next matchup is the Peach Bowl. We got Texas going against the Sun Devils. The Sun Devils, I believe, have home field in this one. It doesn't really matter because it's a neutral site. But I think they do have home field because they have they won the division, the conference, should I say? Mm-hmm. So typically that's how it works. But I got Texas winning this one. But also another good running back in this game, Scatterbo for the Devils. I want to see him go off because if he goes off against Texas, guess what? This is more draft film for him. Now, typically, bowl games don't really help your draft stock, but when you're playing against a good team, as Texas is number one defense across the board, that will help your draft stock. As will Jeanty going against Penn State. Obviously he's got to play against Abdul Carter, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be chasing him around a lot. So that's kind of what I think about it. I got Texas winning, but I want to see Scatterbo go off, man. So
I feel like if State pulls off this stuff they did against OU and Orange Bowl, hooking. Yeah, I mean, you never know.
Well, Bubba, they had a better quarterback then, so
Hey, Kellen
I
Moore.
don't know if they're gonna be doing no hook and laterals, man. But I do expect Genty to get a big thing, and then he says go Arizona
Hey,
State. So he thinks
I
they're gonna pull the upset. I don't think so because I
I
don't think they have enough, but we'll see.
you were talking about Scatterbo goes off. If Scatterbo goes off, Arizona State has a legit chance to win this game. Texas is good, but we've seen glimpses of up and down from them. They have Arizona State beaten depth, talent, and coaching. I give them that. I think Arizona State could really make this game interesting. I just don't necessarily think they have enough. I think Texas wins, but I don't think it's convincing. I see it as being a one possession victory. I think this will be a really good game.
All right, yeah. So nah, I got Texas, but I want to see Duke go off too, man. So this is a big matchup, man. Ohio State going against Oregon. They trying to get this revenge game. Rose Bowl matchup, beautiful. It would be the matchup that you would have seen in the Rose Bowl anyway if Oregon didn't go to the Big Ten. But love it. Love it for both teams, man. Oregon is the undefeated team in the playoffs, so they looking to go undefeated, right? They got the horses to do it, man, but it's tough to beat a team twice, man. So I think Ohio State pulls the upset here. I think they finally hit their whole potential. That $20 million they spent in the offseason, I think it shows out in this game, man. I think Judkins and Travion Henderson go off, man. They should have over 70 yards. For them to win, Judkins and Henderson have to have over 80 yards apiece. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest with you. I think the major difference maker in this game is the quarterback position. One quarterback has been stellar pretty much all season, and the other one has been very up and down. You can have a $20 million roster, but if your quarterback's hit or miss, you don't know what you're going to get on any given Saturday. I think Dylan Gabriel has proven that, he is a baller. He's shown that he can win at the highest level. He's undefeated at Oregon. I think
I'm going with the Ducks.
Ohio State's a very talented team. Very talented team, but I just see flaws. And I just see a lot of inconsistencies as of late. When they're really good, they're really good. But man, when they struggle, it's blatantly obvious. I think Ohio State's got a great team, great roster. I'm going with my preseason pick to win it all, man. I'm going with the Oregon Ducks. I just think that they're going to beat them twice in a row. I think top to bottom, they're just playing better football. Give me Oregon.
All right, cool. Bubba says go Ducks, man. And Chris said, we glad to have you, Chris. And have you missed the Vandy part of the show, man. Missed the Vandy part of the show. But we're glad to have you here. Better late than never, man. All right, so let's keep going, man. So I think this is the last matchup on the docket, man, for us today to talk about. Notre Dame is going against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, right? They not undefeated. My bad. Sorry about that, people. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Got another thing. I told you it's a prototype. We trying this new design out today. So prototype, but nonetheless, I got one of them right. Notre Dame is 12-1. So nonetheless, who you got in this one? Before you go.
The inconsistency hurts OSU. Yeah, look, it could really go either way. Realistically, Ohio State's very talented, and when they want to play up to standard, they're very good. I just really like what Oregon's doing, and I think Oregon's on a mission, man. Phil Knight has got that money in Eugene, Oregon, and they're on a mission to win the national title, and I think they will.
All right, and then Chris says I got Oregon as well. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I just think Dylan Gabriel just has had such a crazy career. UCF, Oklahoma, like it just feels like he's built for a game like this to just say, all right, I done played enough. I know how to beat teams. Like I've done it before. So I just think that experience of just going through the fire so much, I think it helps them a lot, man. So that's why I think Oregon. I think I would like to say Ohio State's gonna win, but I do think Oregon might pull it out. But my heart's saying that Judkins and Travion Henderson are gonna have a game that they need to have, because I don't think they've had a game where they both have gone off like they're supposed to. So we'll see. We'll see, man. But Bubba says Georgia by 30. I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
Notre Dame hate.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. But I do think Georgia wins here. I think they have found something with their new quarterback, man. Something, man. I don't know what it is. It seems like, Stetson Bennett could run, and that made them really hard to beat. And Beck could run too, and it made them hard to beat. But this quarterback's got a lot more wiggle than those other two, and I think that's going to make them hard to beat. I don't think they have anybody. But the matchup that I want to see is Xavier Watts. How's he going to defend Stockton? Where is he? Is he your chess piece like a Minkah Fitzpatrick or something? Or Grant Delpit for you? Or what's the guy? Honey Badger? Is he going to be the chess piece, right? That I can move anywhere to attack their defense, right? Or is he just going to be a background guy like in the secondary? That's the biggest matchup I want to see. Because Xavier Watts isn't getting a lot of shine. Everybody's saying, oh man, Malachi Starks and Will Johnson are the best defensive backs in the draft. Xavier Watts was a defensive player of the year last year in college football. So he deserves to be in that first round talent. And I think he's gonna be important. How they use him throughout this game is gonna be important.
I think Georgia's more dangerous.
Chris says the same thing. I think Gunnar Stockton is different, bro. He's something serious.
Stequavius.
Stequavius.
I think
hey, Bennett, his line was fire though. It was crisp. I ain't gonna hold you.
But I think Notre Dame's a good squad. I just don't think they have enough. The level of physicality and speed that Georgia plays with the caliber of talent they have, especially on defense with the pass rushers. If they collapse that pocket on Riley Leonard, they're going to shake him up early. I don't think he's going to be able to respond back to that. I think he's an improviser. He's strong-willed. But if Georgia gets in his grill early, this game's going to be over quick. I've got Georgia, I think, about 14 or more.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think Riley Leonard's the quarterback to beat them. Although his legs make this a good game though as well, because he's not shy to run it either. But I just think the plays you gotta make in the pocket, I just don't believe in him at all, man. And then Bubba says they pissed from the thing. I think so too. I think they pissed, but I do think they get more comfortable in this game because this is the second game with Stockton getting starting minutes. So we'll see. We shall see, man. So all right. We in on our NFL portion of the show, man. What you think about this logo thing? I got it set up. Got the old school Ravens, got the old school Patriots, man. Got the AFL logo on there. We can't forget about the AFL, man. Come on, the merger was everything. But we about to take a quick commercial break, man. Let y'all get y'all water or something. But we'll run a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Hey man, I don't care. I'm on this Darnold train. I'm riding with Darnold.
You riding with the
Oh,
Vikings?
I'm riding with the Vikings, man.
Oh man.
I'm
Woo,
riding
oh.
with the Vikings,
Man,
man.
you was talking about taking a bath in the Kool-Aid earlier with the Falcons. Nah, you done definitely got submerged in this Darnold train.
The Darnold train continues. The commercial will run all year long. I don't care what y'all saying. It's been running all year long. Believe in the Darnold train because it ain't going nowhere. Welcome back. This is the football frame of mind. The Darnold train is crazy, man. Crazy work. Crazy work, man. We got a comment in here during the break. Let me find it. I'm working with this new mouse, man. It's kind of fast.
Fancy.
All right. You love the. I do too, man. I do too, man.
Like the
AFL,
old
man.
Raiders one was nice.
Yeah, I agree. The Chargers one was too. To be honest with you. So, but let's get into it, man. All right. So this is the playoff picture coming into this weekend. This week. AFC's kind of already set. They only got one team that need to be in there. But the NFC still to be decided, man. So Ravens should be playing the I forgot who they should be playing. I gotta see the matchups. But my Ravens are in the playoffs. That's all I care about, man. Lamar Jackson MVP number 3. We're going for MVP number 3. Stop playing with him, man. Number 3, MVP. I'm just saying, man. Okay, I like Josh Allen. All right, he's been really good considering the circumstances. Right, the team just they didn't do anything in the offseason, and he just decided, oh well, I'll just do it myself, and he did. Well, come on, man. Lamar has been criticized for his passing ability all his whole career. And now he looked perfect doing it, like crazy good. So, all right, but Bubba says, yeah, the real old Chargers. Yep, I like the San Diego Chargers, man. They was perfect. It was perfect. I don't know. Them powder blues is off the chain, man. But what you think about this playoff picture?
Well, this is what I'm looking at. I've got the updated one right now. So if we look at the AFC, I think so. We said that I think it's 3 wild card spots. If I feel like I'm not sure. Denver's still in the hunt, right behind LA. Denver is right behind them. LA just clinched their playoff spot. I think Denver is going to probably get that last spot. I don't see the Bengals or the Dolphins. Their percentage of getting that spot are going to be out. So we're just going to go out on a limb and assume Denver makes the playoffs, which is a really good season, saying this is Bo Nix's rookie year. If we look at the NFC, all those teams are still here. The Rams are still in the thick of things, trying to come out and win the West, which is looking like they're going to. The NFC South is still in the air with Tampa at 9-7. Atlanta's up on Washington right now, 14-7. And you still have the Commanders who are really in it. I want to see Washington make the playoffs, and I want to see what that offense can do go playoff time because, and I know, when the playoffs hit, anything goes. Records mean nothing. Anything during the season means nothing. Once that playoff clock starts, anything can happen. And I'm saying, I know they're not the greatest team, but they're a dangerous team, I feel like, come playoff time. You've seen how dangerous that team was, when RG3 was there his rookie year before he blew out his knee. That was a dangerous team sitting at 8-9 wins. So I feel like the Commanders could be one of those low-key crazy wins. What do I want to say? Crazy teams as well coming into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Chris says, yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it's consensus.
Yeah, I think Sanders is going the first quarterback taken. I do too. I just think his accuracy is just too much to pass on, man. 70% in the NFL in college is pretty good. That's about 64, 65 at the next level. You could project 64, 65 completion percentage. And that's pretty good. It's Hall of Famers that don't have 65% completion percentage.
Look at the second part of this, though.
And then we get into like Carson Beck and Cam Ward. I just don't think you could trust like all right. Here's what I say. Carson Beck would be the safest pick. All right. He will be the safest pick as a second quarterback taken. Right. But on potential alone, you got to look at Cam Ward. I mean, look what he can do. He's not a runner, but he can. And he's a good passer and a prolific passer at that. I look at some of his games, man. The way he goes through his progressions, like he's so smooth with it, right? So the question is, are you willing to wait? Are you willing to wait on him to
I
really do it?
I think Cam Ward is the smarter pick. I'm not fully sold on Carson Beck. Like he's looked good at times, but he's looked bad
He's
at
the
times.
smarter pick, but he's also like I think Cam Ward is the smarter pick, but Beck is the safest pick though, because you know what he's gonna give you. He's a game manager. That's it. He gonna manage the game, right? Because you've seen how good he's been when he does that. When he starts to press things, tries to like make stuff happen, is when he gets interceptions and stuff. That's all. That's just my opinion. Shout out Raj SK man for the like, man. But but
Hey,
I
I loved Rashad
love me
Bateman in Minnesota.
I love me some Rashad Bateman. So I'm like, you ain't gonna get no argument from me. I loved him at Minnesota. I was
He was
like, man,
nasty.
this dude gotta be a first round draft pick. He can't miss on him. He too good. And he got to my Ravens, so I was happy. I was like, okay, Lamar got some weapons. We got some weapons, man. I'd rather him than Hollywood Brown anyway. Shoot, dropping passes and shit all the time. But
You could have got
wide
Kadarius
open.
Toney for all that.
Man, I actually, you know what? I would have taken Tony over Hollywood Brown, bro.
Damn, that's pretty bad, bro.
Man, look, Hollywood Brown dropped so many touchdowns for Lamar. Lamar could have had 40 touchdowns.
Let's ask Patrick Mahomes. He's played with both of them.
I'm pretty sure Mahomes will probably take Hollywood Brown.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
He probably would.
Definitely.
He probably
Oh my
would.
gosh. He definitely would. That's no question to ask.
Yeah, man, he probably would. And Bubba says the 98 Vikings choke.
Dude, we always talk about that. That is literally a team like that we felt like should have been in the Super Bowl that year, but no. Just had the freaking bill. Was it Morton Anderson or whoever? Like just choked it away, man.
Was it Morton or Gary?
I thought Morton Anderson played for Minnesota too. I know he was in Atlanta for a little while, but that was later on, I think.
But I thought Gary Anderson played there too. He was a kicker too, wasn't he?
I think. I don't know. I feel like Morton was there, but maybe it wasn't.
But either way, he missed that kick, man, and that's it. Shout out Andrew for the love, man. But yeah, this is nasty work, man. Broncos and Vikings would have been nice. All right, so let's get into some NFL games, man. Not that much. See, I knew it was Gary. I knew it was Gary. I knew it.
You get confused sometimes.
I knew it. I'm like, man, I know that was Gary, man.
Yeah, I knew he was with Atlanta, but there was a part of me that kept thinking he might have went to Minnesota too. But that's just common misconception on my part.
All right, man. So the Saints move up in the draft, and the Vikings, not the Vikings, but the Raiders move down in the draft with a win here. So the Saints actually are in position to probably get either Shedeur, Cam Ward, or Carson Beck. So I don't know what you do in this situation because you did pay Derek Carr, not David. You did pay him. So what do you do? I don't know. Well, what do you think about this? Was this like a horrible situation for both teams? Because I'm pretty sure they both wanted to lose this game.
Let's see. I just want to see if I can get an up-to-date draft order because I don't think they're going to be high enough. I feel like if they can't get one of those two guys, I don't think they take back. That's just my Okay, so as of right now, New Orleans is sitting with like the 10th pick.
Yeah, but you gotta think the Raiders just won, right? So depending on how that math works out, they might be higher than them.
I don't know if I see them going quarterback yet. I don't know if I see them going QB. I don't. But I think the main thing New Orleans needs to be worried about is replacing their coach with an actual competent head coach. Uh, you've heard a bunch of names fly out there. The one I've really liked the most, I really like the idea of Aaron Glenn going to New Orleans, former Saint cornerback, defensive coordinator for the Lions. I think he would be a really good fit. I don't think New Orleans can talk Ben Johnson into taking that job because it's really not a great situation. As long as Mickey Loomis is the general manager, it's going to be really hard for them to make moves and really win games. But I really like Aaron Glenn. A lot of people are like, don't really like the idea of hiring defensive minded head coaches. They just think it never works out. But I think it could be a really good fit. They need to just go full out rebuild. They're too old, bad contracts. You restructured Carr's contract. So, I mean, you could possibly move on for him after next season. As for the Raiders, man, the Raiders need to be looking quarterback. I'd be looking in free agency. I don't know who's got expiring deals. I would definitely be taking. I would definitely. I would be looking at Sam Darnold for sure. I would be trying to reach him for a number, especially to see how this season ends, especially if they make it to the NFC title game or better. I'm definitely looking to him to give him a payday. I don't really know too many other guys that I would really try to trade for or sign in free agency. If you can't get a guy like that or another reliable guy, I would try to move up in the draft and draft one of those two guys if you can. I think Cam Ward would be I think he'd be the ideal fit. I don't think Shedeur. I think Shedeur is going to go to whoever the first QB needy team is, and that's going to be the Giants. So I would say Raiders should go for a guy like Darnold for the experience, and he's obviously built his rapport back up this year. If you can't get him, I'm trying to trade up to make sure we get Ward.
All right, no, I see that, man. The sandbag game, as Bubba says. I don't know. I think it was, but the Raiders seemed like they wasn't trying to lose no games down the stretch, man. They seemed like they weren't trying to go that route. Because if that was the case, they would have just lost anyway, right? But yeah, I think he got the most catches for a rookie tight end ever. So
most yards too. I think he's got like 1,077.
So he did his thing, man.
I mean, hey,
Chris, I wouldn't.
I mean, it's not a whole. I mean, hey, y'all can have
like that.
I would be completely fine with that.
It's that's not a conversation between y'all two.
But that's really. But I just. Well, no. I mean, they're so high. I mean, if you have an opportunity to take quarterback, obviously draft a quarterback. But if I don't know. It's definitely a conversation to be had, though. Good for the Saints. I don't know about the other side, but
yeah.
No, the Patriots are definitely
the Raiders will be further down. They would be like top 7. They'd be in like 7.
You got a couple.
Yeah, they'd be like 7-8 range now because they won. Yeah. So, but the Giants will definitely be in there, but they won too, so they not really gonna be number 1 either. So I don't know. And then he says,
New England's got 3 wins too. I feel like. Yeah, they're 3 and 13.
So I think the tiebreaker is like win percentage or something like that, or like win percentage against something like that. It's a weird math, but I think the Patriots might be number 1 though.
Hey, I'm okay with that. Take Travis Hunter, call it a day.
I guess, man. Y'all just not a creative team, man. You're not a creative team. Like, if you're gonna draft a guy like Travis Hunter, you have to have some creativity in how you use him, specifically on the offensive end.
But I don't really feel like whoever he goes, I feel like they're gonna put him at corner. I feel like when you're drafting him, you're using him for corner. I just think his skill set playing cornerback is going to transition better into the league. Not saying people won't use him at receiver, but also in their situation, you don't know what's going to happen in the offseason because it doesn't seem like Robert Kraft is too happy with his hire at head coach. So you could see some things getting shaken up. But I feel like anybody that takes Hunter is getting him primarily for his work at corner. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's a better corner than he is a receiver anyway. But because the ball skills is crazy, he can catch anything. Like you make a mistake, he gonna go after the ball, right? So like maybe that's too aggressive, and that might get him beat. But I mean, shoot, Trayvon Diggs got beat all the time, but he had like 8 interceptions. So like, hey, feast or famine, bro. What you want? you want the guy to guard everybody, or you want some interceptions, man? So I don't know. But yeah, the Pats will probably be number one.
That's
but
cool.
The Darnold train continues. Justin Jefferson is, I think, the best receiver in the league right now. Like, is that fair to say?
I think Jamar Chase is still in that conversation too. I think if you're gonna have that conversation, Chase is there. He's one.
Man, look, Justin Jefferson seemed like he been more consistent, man. Like he give Chase will give you the 140 for like 3 touchdowns, right? But damn it, Chase will give you 10 receptions for 80 yards, right? But that's like all first downs, dog. Like he consistent with it. Every week. It seems like he'll give you about 7 catches for like 80 yards. And it's cool to have the 140 for 3 touchdowns. That's cool. You probably won the game. Or you still probably lost the game because the Bengals ain't got no defense. But having the consistency every week to know that I'm going to get 80 yards out of this dude. Let's make these yards count, right? Let's keep the drive alive. Let's keep going, man. I don't know. I just think he's the best receiver in the league, man. He can get open on anybody. He can take the top off the defense, man. Like, I don't know. I just think, man, I like what Justin Jefferson is doing. And that's crazy coming from an Alabama fan. But I like
LSU is wide receiver you, bro.
I wouldn't go that far.
Whatever. Oh my gosh. Not even mentioning. So we're not even gonna talk about the other 2 rookies who've been cooking everybody too. With no quarterbacks. Nope.
No. Because man, look, all right, hear me out. All right, since we're on this subject, right, of Alabama and LSU receivers, man. So it seems like everybody that the LSU receivers go to, they all have pretty good quarterbacks. Every one of them.
No, I wouldn't say all of them.
Who? Except for Neighbors. That's it.
Josh Reed. Who's his quarterback? J.P. Lossman.
Who
did Jarvis Landry have when he got drafted? Tannehill. Who did OBJ have? Eli Manning.
But he was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, but the quarterback was ass.
So what? He's still a Super Bowl quarterback. Okay, hear me out. Okay, so Josh Reed. So hear me out. So Josh Reed had he was there when I think Bledsoe was there, right? So that's a so that's fine. But he still was there when they had Bledsoe. He was still good.
Bledsoe was not still good at that point. He got moved like the year after to Dallas. He was not that good.
That's okay. But he still has some value, right? Okay, hear me out. So you got Josh Reed there. Dwayne Bowe, right? He was a first round receiver for y'all, right?
They didn't have nobody either. That was
after they did have somebody.
Who, Matt Castle?
Pro Bowler.
Not Alex Smith. Alex Smith came like at the tail end of that. That don't even count.
No, I'm talking about Matt Castle was a Pro Bowler with the Chiefs.
man. Yeah, like 1 year. Come on, man. That's
So
a
what?
stretch.
That's my point. That's my point. Okay. So that's my point. Okay. So now we go down the line. We go to OBJ. He had Eli Manning. Still capable of getting him the ball. If it wasn't for Eli, what's that? OBJ wouldn't have got no Pro Bowl because he still had to have somebody throwing the ball, right? Jarvis Landry had Tannehill, a Pro Bowler, throwing him the ball.
I don't think he was a Pro Bowler.
Jamar Chase got Jamar Chase in the best position of anybody. He got his college quarterback throwing him the ball. Then you got Justin Jefferson. Yeah, Kirk Cousins ain't the best, but damn it, he better than some of the Bama quarterbacks that the Bama receivers. You got somebody capable of getting you the ball. You got Brian Thomas. Come on, man, stop playing. You got Trevor Lawrence throwing you the football. The only person that's not in a good situation is Neighbors. And even Daniel Jones almost got him a Pro Bowl, at least one.
Then what about you?
Now, when I go down to Bama receivers, come on, man. All right. Calvin Ridley, where'd he go?
He got drafted by Alabama. He got drafted by Atlanta. He had Matt Ryan.
Ew, disgusting.
Matt Ryan was an MVP. He's an MVP quarterback.
Okay, but to use your analogy, just one season.
But who did Julio Jones have? Matt Ryan. Who does Jalen Waddle have?
Team, so the same problem.
Who does Jalen Waddle have? Tua. Let's keep going.
Ew.
Who else we got? So you can say,
ew.
Isn't he a Pro Bowl quarterback
then
too?
I want to go. Then look. Then I want to go. Henry Ruggs. Who the hell he have? Nobody. Who did Jerry Jeudy have? Nobody.
Well, he was okay. Hold up. Who was the quarterback when Jeudy was in Denver? Nobody.
Nobody.
I think it's about even.
My bad. My bad. Paxton Lynch.
Oof.
Oh yeah, oof is right. Okay, so we go down the line. Your passers than mine do.
I think it's about even. I think it's even. I think it's about even if you use that in the alley. Yes, dude.
No,
you cannot use the Drew. You cannot use the Drew Bledsoe for Buffalo. That does not count.
How
it's JP lost. Because he had JP. Oh man, no, they did not with him in Buffalo. They sure did not make the playoffs.
Yes, they did. They got one playoff appearance.
I don't think they did with. I don't think they had with them.
I think they made the playoff, man.
I don't think so, dog.
It's just ridiculous.
He spent all his time with Trent Edwards and JP Lossman. Stop capping. Both of them were ass.
Who?
JP Lossman and Trent Edwards were ass.
Okay, JP Lossman, but Trent Edwards was okay.
No, he was trash, dog. He was okay in college.
He was okay trash.
He was okay. And trash is still trash.
No, he was recycled.
Let's just call it even.
No, it's not even. It's not. This is not a share. This is not a share, man. No. Everybody on their team, man. And then look, you want to say Jalen Waddle, man? Okay, cool. But the last 3 seasons he had Tua for like 4 games. Look, Tyrod Taylor, bro, quarterback. Come on, man.
It's even.
Like, stop it, man. Stop it. No, y'all receivers. Like, okay, I get it. Y'all receivers go in the great situations, right? So hold up, let's see. We got some comments in there. So
oh wait, I've seen the second. With Jet, you have half a dozen of one and 6 the other. Both are elite. For the simple fact that Chase is a better quarterback throwing to him. To put up the same or better numbers, yeah, I mean that is a fair point. I can definitely see that.
What I'm saying, man.
I mean,
wide receiver number 1.
it's a similar situation to like when you had guys like Johnson and T.O. in the Chad Johnson in the league, and you had Andre Johnson in Houston before they had Matt Schaub, and he had nobody throwing him the ball, and he was still balling out. It's pretty much a situation like that.
I agree. I mean, like so the Henry Ruggs situation could have been avoided. I think we all know that.
If homie would have just
And then
bought
gambling, and then gambling is like, I don't know, everybody do that shit. So I really didn't think that was a big deal. Like everybody got FanDuel.
That's like fuck, who is that freaking dude? Who was it? Keishawn Butte from LSU. Keishawn Butte did the same thing.
Yeah, but really going to the Titans, Chris, that was horrible. That's like DeAndre Hopkins going to the Vikings.
Same thing.
That's the same thing, bro.
How about when Andre Johnson went to the Titans?
Well, come on, man. Like, bro,
or Randy Moss.
To the Titans when they had Derrick Henry, you knew you was just gonna be a blocker, bro. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all you was gonna do. Like, that's it. So, like, y'all would never have gotten the real Calvin Ridley anyway, you know. So, like, and then like Henry Ruggs was like, that was just an unfortunate situation for both parties. Like, it could have been avoided and should have been avoided.
If he would have just gotten an Uber instead of trying to drive home like an idiot, those people, that girl and her dog wouldn't have died, and he would still be in the league, probably getting paid right now.
Yeah, so I mean, and he was, and like I said, he was the one receiver that I thought was a stretch anyway out of the four that ended up getting drafted. I thought he was good, but I thought he was more fast than route runner, if that makes sense. So, but I mean, look, you would drop passes too, man, if your team was like 3-14. I think you talking about Calvin Ridley. Like, the team is ass, man. I wouldn't catch no passes either.
It said he turned into Brucey off of longest yard. You know, he got done eating that popcorn before the game, you know.
He's like, hey, my hands are slippery, man. I ate a lot of popcorn. So, man, I never get to play. All right, so we had to have our back to back on this. We had to go. We had to have our debate about receiving you. But nonetheless, man, not a crazy game here. Obviously, the Cowboys was gonna get beat anyway. But Saquon Barkley continues his chase for the all-time leading rushing record for a season. I don't really care because he got an extra game to do it, right? It would be the same people that said Eric Dickerson, oh man, I know that's how the people that watch OJ do it felt. Oh, well, you know, OJ did it in 14 games, right? And then now it's like, well, Eric Dickerson did it in 16, right? You got like 17, 18, something like that, right? So that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but you got an extra game to do it, bro. It's not the same.
I will say though, it is. But I will say one thing to counteract that. I do agree, but it is very impressive to say how pass heavy the NFL is nowadays compared to when Dickerson was playing with the Rams. It's very pass heavy. So to see a guy excel like that on the ground, I feel like even with the extra game that I feel like does make a difference, I still think it's really impressive though, nonetheless.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's impressive that, but it doesn't surprise me though, because the Eagles got Saquon to do just this. Like they got Saquon to do this, you know, like really show his whole potential. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. Yeah. But I mean, that's ass. That's like, I mean, look. Hey, the proof is in the pudding, Chris. The Cowboys are ass, man. Cowboys are horrible. The Cowboys are horrible.
They're the best 7-9 team in the league.
Man, and the Eagles was just playing with their food in this one. Like Kenny Pickett just said, I'll just go back to my pit days and call it a day. Like, come on, man. That was nasty, man. But Saquon is what I really was talking about. So not really many games to talk about next week because I think this is the last week of the season. So not many games to talk about, but this is the biggest and most important one. This is for the home field in the playoffs. No, yes, home field in the playoffs. And for the NFC North title. It all comes down to this game. The Darnold train goes to Detroit, and we're gonna try to come out with the victory to win the division title and probably the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Possibly, I don't know how that works, but we'll see. Who you got in this game?
Man, give me Motor City, bro. Give the dub to the Lions. We're going to stop the Darnold train in his tracks. I'm sorry. I like Darnold, but come on, man. Detroit is on a mission, man. I don't care about the injuries. I don't care about any of that. Detroit is playing really good ball. It's in Detroit. Give me the Lions for the dub to get the number 1 seed and first round bye. Home field advantage.
Give me choo Darnold train going through Detroit.
That's what they're gonna be doing to the Vikings, running a train.
No, not gonna be. You tried to do a joke there. Not funny. Choo, the Darnold train goes to Detroit, and we coming back with the victory, home field, and the number 1 seed in the playoff.
I like how Cam is saying. I like how Cam is saying, okay, the Falcons are not his NFC team. It's definitely the Vikings.
Yeah, it's the Vikings now. Yeah, it's the Vikings. Wherever Darnold goes, that's where I'm going. I believe in Darnold. So this game with the Seahawks against the Rams should be for the NFC West title. And a playoff spot too. So this is a real good game as well. I want to see the Seahawks win this game. So I'm going with the Seahawks. Geno Smith will probably have a good game. So who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, man. I want to see things get interesting. The Rams, nobody wants to see the Rams in the playoffs. Like none of us wanted to see y'all in the playoffs last year. No disrespect if there are any Rams fans watching. Cool. Y'all not the real Rams. The Rams are back in St. Louis. Y'all just a cheap, great value version of that. So I'm going to Seattle, man. I want to see Seattle.
That's not true. That's not true. The Rams was in Los Angeles first.
I know it was. I'm saying it's better being in St. Louis. It's better being in St. Louis, and with that freaking Walmart scratch logo they got, it's just ew. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I didn't like their logo either, man. I wish if they was gonna do it, they should have just did it like they did before they went to St. Louis. That would have been a perfect logo. Like this is booty to me. I don't like it. But you know how it goes, man. I'm always gonna be a St. Louis Rams fan, so you ain't gonna see me rocking no LA Rams stuff. Now my little brother loves the Rams. He loves the LA Rams, but like not me. I can't do it. Traitors.
Ew,
F Stan Kroenke, bro. So not really an important game in terms of standings, but I just want to see the Panthers be a spoiler and just end the Falcons season right now. I don't even want no guess, you know. So but I got the Panthers.
I want things to be interesting in this game, man. I think if Atlanta wins tonight and they win this next game, I think all they need is Tampa Bay to lose one and they're in. I really like MPJ. I like the fact that he's playing, man. Give me the Falcons.
Ugh. All right.
So, for the team that was supposedly your NFC team. Ugh.
Yeah, it was. But that was like last year, bro.
more like last week.
That was last year when I picked the Panthers, bro.
Woo!
All right, so before we end the show, man, that's it. We got one question for Chris.
Wait, okay. Is he only been there for 1 year? You should fire him. Is it fair? Maybe not. This is the NFL. What are you pointing to in this performance? To keep who? Oh, who?
I
Wait,
think
who?
it's just general question.
Okay, so I think it really just depends on the situation and the organization. My opinion is more times than not, you're not going to fire a coach after 1 year unless you've really just lost control of the locker room. If maybe like you're a very talented team with a good new head coach and you just completely underperform, I can see teams letting go after a year. But man, it's really an extenuating circumstance because that's just not really. I mean, it's the same situation with kind of like what they did with Frank Reich last year. You hired Frank Reich with the intention that he was going to come in and rebuild this team. And obviously, he had issues with the front office, didn't want to let him draft who he wanted, and you didn't even give him a full season. I think that was a really poor way of handling that. I don't think you should have fired him after a year. I think some situations can warrant that, but I feel like it's got to be like a very, very underwhelming situation to fire somebody after a year. I feel like the team is already bad. I don't think it's warranted. But if the team is projected to still be like competitive and they're really bad, like 2-3 wins bad, I can see it being a thing.
All right, so this be our closing argument segment, man. I think it's like you said, it depends. It's a case by case basis, right? So I think of Steve Wilkes for the Cardinals, right? Before they drafted Kyler Murray, right? He was there and it wasn't going that well, but you also didn't have enough to really fire him, right? But then you got Cliff Kingsbury, the hot college guy, and it's like, oh well, hey, we got another quarterback, right? But you had just drafted Josh Rosen, so you didn't really know what you had in him, right? But you got the number one pick next year because the team was so bad, right? So that's a situation where I'm like, well, maybe you should have just waited because since then you've had what another coach there since then. So that's three coaches within like the last 5 seasons, right? So that's a situation where I think maybe you should wait, right? And see what happens with the guy. You never know. Put some players, draft, scout, whatever you have to do, figure that out. Now, a situation where you should fire your coach after one season is when you got the Dolphins. Remember, they had that season 06-07 after Nick Saban left, I want to say. They had, I want to say it was Cam Cameron was the coach there. And they went like 1-15.
Yeah, that was
And
before they got Tony. That was before they got Tony Sperano.
Yeah, Tony's exactly. That's exactly the time frame I'm talking about. So they were 1-15 after being like 2-14 or like making the playoffs or something like that. I
They were.
think or
I don't
almost,
think they didn't make the
almost.
playoffs. I think they were like a 7-8 win team, maybe the year
Yeah.
before.
So, but the thing is, you have all of this thing, and you're only missing a quarterback. That's all Nick Saban was missing with the Dolphins. But they wouldn't give it to him. We all know the story of Drew Brees should have been there, didn't because they wouldn't clear him, right? But when you are the ownership, I guess, and you hire Cam Cameron, who's been a quote unquote offensive genius, right? And you go from 8-1 in terms of wins, that's when you fire a guy. Because we had all the talent and you're the offensive genius, you should take us past that point. That's when you should fire your coach.
Even
right?
if they could at least, I mean, even if you can't exceed those wins in year one, because obviously sometimes you have growing pains and still trying to put things together, being your first year in an organization. I feel like if you in that situation, like I feel like you should at least be able to match the wins from before, warranting you don't have any bad injuries. But yeah, being like a 7-8 win team and falling to one is completely unexcusable. Even with injuries, that's horrible. That's on coaching more than anything. And I feel like for that to happen, I feel like you don't have any control of the locker room. The players probably don't respect you, and they're just out there doing whatever, and you just can't adjust.
Yeah, and then I think of a situation like with Urban Meyer, right? When he went to Jacksonville, right? The team the tenure of Gus, what's his name, Marone, right?
Doug Marone, yeah.
Doug Marone, yeah. So you got an AFC title appearance with this coach under that last regime. So the talent is there, but you hire a guy that had nothing to do with anything. Nothing. Like
That
it
was a
didn't.
bad hire though. Like you were banking that he could put it all together. Like that's not, and that was a
And
horrible situation.
put all of what together. That's the thing. It never made sense to hire a person like that. So
No.
that's my point. When you say oh he's been there 1 year, it has to have some type of positive going into next season, right? If you hire a guy 1 season into his contract and you fire him, right? It has to be completely negative, no positives at all. You're talking less wins than you had the year before, no progress, man. Losing the locker room, losing the team, losing fans, actually, because some people just don't work in the media,
Yep.
you know. So that's my reasoning for firing a guy. But if you have positivity going into next season and you fire a guy into year one, then that's really a bad move. That's not good for business, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Right?
I mean,
So
it makes the place to be a less desirable place to be. Like, look what happened. Look what happened last year in Carolina when they did that to Frank Reich. Look how bad that made them look. One, it brought the lens on the ownership, which the ownership's already a major issue with that. But it makes it it's not even a big market, but it makes it even more marginalized where even more people don't want to go over there. The only people that go over there are the people who get drafted there and the people who get traded there. That's horrible. That's bad.
man.
That's terrible business, especially in the NFL when money is everything, especially with ticket sales and being able to sell fans to a team or trying to sell a free agent on coming here. Like if you don't have that and a player feels like it's going to be a negative situation or they feel like they can't thrive there, they're not going to go there, which means less money.
And that's why I look at coaches that that have been fired after 1 year. Hugh Jackson and the Raiders, fired him, and they were like 8-8, something like that. They weren't bad at all, but they fired him, right? So you just have to have some positivity going into year two, right? Like you're thinking about the Patriots right now with Mayo, right? We got a lot of positives, man. We got Christian Gonzalez on defense. He's a stalwart. We got Barmore. He's good in the middle, right? And then you got Drake May on offense and positive going into year two that you can make some strides, like so what's another one that got the job? Now looking at the Titans, right? The Titans could be a team that would fire a guy after year one because it's like, yo, we weren't that bad. Although we were a one-trick pony in terms of what we did on offense, running the ball, handing it to Derrick Henry, right? It worked. AFC title game, right? But Gabriel probably knew that the writing was on the wall. Let me just go on and get up out of there, right? But it was still some good pieces there. And the fact that you had pieces to move, even if you were going to tank this season away, the GM and coach have to be on the same page, and they have pieces that they could have moved. You could have moved Calvin Ridley for a draft pick or two. You had Jeffrey Simmons. You could have moved him for a first round draft pick.
Yeah, see now that his stock done dropped. Now you're not going to get as nearly as much back for him. You have to know like when to hold out, when to fold out. You got to be able to make those decisions because otherwise you don't get fair compensation, or sometimes you don't get any compensation.
But that's where I would think that you would fire a coach in year one because they did nothing. The coach didn't do anything. The team was completely lost. There was nothing you could do, right? The quarterback that you thought was going to be good was really bad and bad decision making as well, right? So that looks like coaching to me because he wasn't ready to play at all, right? That's player, that's also coaching. And then the GM should be gone as well because you had all these moves to make and you didn't make it. They should have traded all of their good assets except for the young ones, like the linemen that they drafted in the first round, or a couple players on defense. But you needed to make some moves to get more draft selections so you could add more talent, right? You can always spend money. Nashville's a great city to be in, right? But you had to make some moves and they didn't do anything. So in my opinion, that would be the first team on the list to fire their coach and GM, in my opinion.
I mean, I don't see them firing Callahan after year one. This
No.
off season is going to be a major thing though, because if I'm not mistaken, and Chris can leave a comment below, but I'm pretty sure Tennessee has at least 2 first-round picks this year. If you have 2 first-round picks, you need to hit on both of those. You can't make boneheaded decisions, and you need to make smart choices with those draft picks. And free agency, you need to be you need to be shipping some of these guys out of town, getting draft picks for the draft, even if they're later round picks. Like, say, for instance, with Simmons, what if you don't get like a 3rd round pick? That could still be a really good. I think you try to cash out with the guys you can the most. And those, if you do have 2 first rounders, I think you're looking for a quarterback. I really think unless you want to go veteran for a year or two, you can do that. But if you're not going to go quarterback, you need to go offensive line, and you need to be looking for another weapon for said quarterback as well, if possible. So, I mean, they just need to be smart with the offseason. But if they have another crap offseason and they start off crap again next year, they're definitely going to be in the market for another coach.
Agreed, man. And Chris says he feels like he has something. Now, I don't think so. I'm agreeing with you, Chris. I don't think it's positive going into this season. And I would think that you would, you would fire Callahan right now. I think you would do that to just reset everything, like you said, Chris, and then focus on getting the guy, right? But I do think that maybe you give him another shot.
I think we do
we do the reset this offseason, right? Then we focus on building up, building. I feel like this team this year was just holding on remnants of what Vavro did, right? I think this year, this offseason, you do the reset, we start to find the identity of the team, right? Now, some people say go quarterback. I personally don't think so. I think your team is built by your offense and defensive lines. I think you should go offensive lineman, get real nasty, like you were when you had Wycheck or when you had Matthews when the Oilers was there. Like, come on, man, you gotta get nasty again. Tennessee has the probably one of the best running back lineages of any team. Earl Campbell, Eddie George, Chris Johnson. Like, come on, you got a lot of history running the football, man. Get back to that. Everybody can do it pretty and pass, right? But the real teams run the ball, and that's a team that runs the ball. I say build culture through the offensive line. Get a guy like Kelvin Banks or a guy like Will Campbell. Somebody to change the culture of. Let's start there, because a rebuild doesn't start overnight. You can easily get the quarterback, right? You can get the quarterback anywhere you want, right? But if you don't protect the quarterback, you end up with quarterbacks like Tim Couch, who had ultra talent, one of the best quarterbacks in SEC history. Brain damage because he got beat up so much.
Look at David Carr. Yeah,
David Carr. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Getting beat up in year 1 and 2 and 3 because you haven't fixed anything.
Well, you look at what Cincinnati did with Joe Burrow. Obviously, they've fixed it, but look what happened to him year 1. That was another prime example of not securing the offensive line, getting beat on, had an injury year 1, and you've seen since then they've adjusted and made moves to secure the tackles, the guards, so they're good blocking now. Now they just need defense, but just like he said, like, I think you should go veteran QB, somebody to just be your bridge for the time being.
I do too.
And I feel like you go with one of those higher rated tackles. I would probably go Campbell. If you don't get Campbell, I'd go Kelvin Banks. And I think you just worry about protecting him, You have a decent running back there in Tony Pollard. Maybe you can bring another guy in there to maybe have a two-headed monster. And you just got to get back to the basics, man. Like, I feel like if you guys can turn things, if you guys can have a good offseason and come out next year with like 6-7 wins tops, then you're doing something right. But if y'all don't prioritize things in the offseason and y'all come out looking anything remotely close to what you have right now, you're going to be looking at your coach getting gone before the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, exactly. And then Chris says this. He's like,
I mean, look, if you want to give him a shot, you can roll the dice on that. Get you an offensive line, but I will tell you, if you want to roll the dice with that, you better get another guy signed back there who can come in and at least play. Like whether it be a guy like Josh Dobbs or somebody you know you can at least plug and play for the time being, you can do that. You better secure the hell out of that offensive line in free agency and in the NFL draft. You better be very confident in what decisions you're going to make once the offseason starts. That's a risky game to play. That's a risky game to play.
Like, I personally don't think if you had a good offensive line, I don't think Will Levis would be the guy. I don't think he's that good. His decision making is really bad. That's the thing. Like, even when he's had good protection, it feels like he doesn't make the best decisions. So, but for the Titans, I think their biggest thing is offensive line and defensive line, changing the culture up front, going back to what their roots are, being a downhill power team. It's always worked for them over the history of their franchise. Running the ball has worked, and that's it. When you try to get cute, it doesn't work. Every time they've tried to do that, but it when they run the ball, it works. Exactly, Chris. Exactly. This is lunch pail and hard hat. That seems like Nashville football to me. Tennessee. Like, look, that's what it is. Tennessee Volunteers, when they was good, they ran the ball. Okay. Like whatever. That's what it is, Like, I think that's where they should go. That's what works. It works. The Ravens hold their hat on defense. When their defense is good, it's always been good. When you start getting cute, that's what you get sometimes, So that's my whole thing, man. But this is the end of the show officially, man. We gotta get this. I can't wait to draft season when we really get in deep into it. It's gonna be fun. But get in the comment box. Let us know how you feel about the new design for the show, man. What can we change and everything. But before we get up out of here, man, anything you gotta say?
Man, shout out to everybody leaving feedback during this show, man. What was it? Bubba, what was his name? Minnesota fan, what was his name again?
Bubba Bryant.
Shout out to you. It's awesome having a different kind of fan in here. We're SEC guys, so we don't really get to see Big Ten guys. So, man, you can come back anytime. Come watch us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Shout out to Chris as well. Brought up really good points, good talking points, and good discussion points. Shout out to you guys. For anybody else who's been watching, shout out to y'all. We would not be here without you guys. If you like this kind of content, do not forget to like the video, comment, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell notifications so you never miss a beat, man. YouTube channel, you have daily content between community posts, shorts. We do live streaming gaming with Twitch, X, and Facebook as well. We're on all major social media platforms. And if you're more of a guy who's in an office all day or you're working out and you're driving a lot, you want to listen to something on the go, check us out on all audio platforms as well, man. We're making big moves. Want to finish out 2024 with a bang. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and we're December 29th. We have 2 years left in the year, and it still looks like it could be a possibility, man, but we can't get there without you guys. So once again, if you guys like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, everybody who's been watching, and strap up, man. 2025 is going to be a big year.
Good to say it better myself, man. I'm Cam. That's Brandon. This has been the Football Frame of Mind.
Peace.